Okay, this is an interesting function, this onUser variables update. What this is used for is if there's a change of variables in the user. So it took me a while to say, well, what's going on here? Well, you're in a chat room and there's these other users in the chat room, right? These other avatars. Well, when they have the ability to change position, right? They can move around in the chat room. So when they move around in the chat room, that is a user variable update. So they wrote a function for every time there's a change in variables, meaning also their x and y position, this event handler is called. So I put some additions here. So first thing I did was if the user, if there's some update to the user, we need to get the data, get their user data, right? I want to go get their MySQL data. Then this is built in right here. They make a variable called current room, the ID of the user, the user variables, which, like I said, is a lot of it's according to the pre-built, the pre-made version that they've put out here, the example file. These UVARs are the x and y position and also the column, which is the color of the disk, the colored circles, and then the movie clip, right? What movie clip, what avatar movie clip are there, and is there a change? So then after they get those variables, they say, here's if these variables are being initiated, I think for the first time. I'm not quite sure. What they do here, though, I wasn't quite sure if UVAR's in it. But for some reason, if this is being reinitiated, like the avatar is just like reappearing to the stage or something, then you can see here this is attaching a movie clip for the user from the library for the avatar, right? And then it's setting its X position and its Y position and the color of its disk and then its name in the text box. So I said, well, if this is going to happen, then I need to also set its hair color, eyes, ears, all that stuff. So once again, I call myInterval, setInterval, myFunction, which I've used before. We've talked about that before, right? So, of course, to do that, to get the hair and the eyes and the ears, I made sure that there was a get data call happening right ahead so that I'll have that data from the database handy. Okay, then you see after that if statement, this is if the variables have been initiated. Well, else, meaning if it's not a new user kind of situation, or reinitiation of a user, then they do this MC easing. This is handling the animation, and I'm not going to go into that, but this handled the animation of the user basically moving around the screen, right? And I thought, okay, that's cool. So what I did was I added my own piece here, and I said MC, which is the movie clip for the avatar that we're talking about, go into AV pieces, go into AV underscore hair, and go to and stop uvars.th, .he, .te, .ea, and .tm, right? And this sets the hair, right? This sets the head. This sets the eyes. This sets the ears, and this sets the mouths. So TM equals the mouths, EA equals ears, TE equals the eyes, HE equals head, TH in this case equals the hair. And I got to show you where I set those variables. It's in a separate spot, so I'll show you where that gets set. But that's essentially what I did here, and then we'll see where did I do this? Where did I set up the TH and the HE? We'll see that later in the code. Okay, on the next function, SmartFox on user count change, no changes. On public message, no changes. On admin message, no changes. On room added, no changes. So this is all the stuff that came with the avatar chat. SmartFox on room deleted, no changes. Send chat message, no changes. Change room, no changes. Function set up my avatar. This is the function that gets called when you first join the room. At the end of that function, it says set up my avatar. So here's the function that sets up your avatar for the first time. And since we're setting up our avatar, this is me, basically, my character. I did make some changes in this one, I think. So we'll have to take a look at where I made those changes. But right here, you'll see no changes, no changes, no changes here. And actually, I didn't make any changes there. So that's it. That was easy. Clean avatars, function clean avatars, no changes. Function login protected room, no changes. Reset room selected, no changes. Update room status, no changes. And then all of a sudden, after function update room status, now I've got some changes that show up here below this function. On line here 584, you'll see that here is where I made the array my users, and I set a variable here, var new user, and I set it to a Boolean, meaning it's either going to be true or false. So it's a special type of variable. It's a Boolean variable, and it's either going to be true or false, and I set it to false. So new user equals false, and my users equals an array, and then Smartfox on extension response function. This is a built-in function that you can call, and this is what will happen when we get a response from the Smartfox server from our extension, our server-side extension. When that server-side extension sends back our get data, for instance, this function will handle that response. This function is an event handler. That's why it has the on here. So it's going to handle the extension response handler. So it'll execute when that event happens, when we get a message back from the server-side extension. We'll go over this in the next movie.